Okay, this is the situation at the end of the part one of the first stage. Admittedly, I've made a few mistakes here and there, but nothing drastic. No need to restart anything. The mistakes I have made, I've tended to make for everybody rather than particularly benefiting any power. I think the most obvious one was this change of national focus. I forgot about this. If you change your national focus, put a cube there, it should stop you from doing it again. So a couple of nations have changed their focus twice, particularly switching over to military late on. But I'm not gonna bother with that. Other things, some cannon dice were thrown when people didn't actually have cannons. Trying to think other things that have been done wrong that are particularly egregious. Not really. Anyway, let's have a look at what the powers have done. So we start with the Ottoman Empire. They achieved their first mission in the fact that they've managed to conquer Byzantium, and they've got so they've got Constantinople, and they've also got a territory here, Moria, which is also listed. Moria sounds like something from Lord of the Rings. Anyway, so that was their main thing, being able to conduct a successful war against the Byzantine Empire, or what's left of it. So that's destroyed. Spain, they managed to get really heavy influence in Aragon, and they got a marriage and an alliance, and they've also got a core on it. But they haven't actually taken over that area. But they did manage to wage a war against Granada in Andalusia, but they weren't able to completely conquer it. So instead of annexing it, they've had to vassalize it. Look at the English player. They successfully conducted a military campaign in Ireland and effectively annexed all those independent states, those 3 independent states in Ireland. They also managed to explore and put a claim into the New World on Canada. Oh, by the way, yes, the Spanish also put a claim on Florida in the New World. So they've got colonists available for this turn now coming. Now the Austrians, or the Habsburgs, is probably best referring them to. These guys managed to capture Zagreb and Ragusa after a successful campaign against the Croatian state there. They've also increased their influence in a couple of areas. Not done much more than that. Did a trade action. They're actually racked up really heavy with diplomacy due to their advisors and their ruler and a couple of other things. So they're probably going to aim a little more towards the diplomatic side of things rather than trying to absorb or conquer other places at the moment. In terms of the bots haven't been particularly successful. The French bot did well in the fact that it scored second highest behind Castile, but it's certainly not really achieved a great deal apart from getting the first one to pass, and it was managed to get the quest for the New World. Not entirely sure where it scored its stuff. It's done well anyway in terms of bots. It's done a lot better than Poland. Poland has basically increased its influence in Lithuania over here. It's got a marriage and an alliance there. It's gradually spread its influence further into Lithuania there, but it's not really achieved a great deal. The dynamic powers done nothing really. Denmark expanded out into southern Sweden. We've also had another power being created by it's not a dynamic PR, it's just a PR that was created as the result of the Neapolitan succession. Actually, I think that card should remain because there's going to be some impacts from that. I'll have to dig that out from the discard deck. The Mamelukes didn't do anything at all, and neither did the Portuguese over here. I did decide to remove the Russian bot and just leave that area. So you're not to enter into any of this area basically, which is shown in the rule book when you're playing the 6 player grand campaign. So just let me check to see if Spain actually achieved one of their goals. You want to get a claim in own all provinces in Andalusia. Well, effectively we vassalised them, so does that count? I'd say yes, that counts. So you've achieved your milestone there, so we'll just have a look at that in a minute. Do one last check over Britain, make sure. Whoops, sorry about all this. Going round the houses and have a look at Britain. See if they've achieved any of their stuff. Not really, but they're close to levying all their troops. That's not going to be a difficult one to achieve. Yeah, expanding the Aragon Empire. Well, that's something I don't. Well, that was a compulsory milestone. Sorry, compulsory mission. They don't really want that. That's not what they're intending to do. Right, so there's nobody else achieved anything in terms of milestones. Oh, yeah, one thing I did also mention was the bots. I didn't have the bot decks set up correctly. When I was looking at setup, I was reading the setup up here, thinking, oh, that must be it. There's nothing to do with the bots, but apparently the bot setup, the bot deck setup is down here, so I missed that, and I did manage to pick that up halfway through the turn and correct it. So that's it. It's a difficult game to learn because it is so complicated, and it depends how you like learning stuff. I would advise you to watch a lot of the videos on YouTube. There's some really good ones just going through everything, and it's amazing some concepts that you just don't get just reading the rules. Oh, if anyone was wondering what that statuette is, that's the whose turn it is. That's Cersei Lannister, in case anyone's interested. Right, so it's a good game. I'm having fun with it at the moment. So I particularly like this sort of geopolitical type strategy thing. You know, there are a few other games like it. Here I Stand and Virgin Queen. There's even Crusader Kings but look, that looks a really simplified version of the board of the computer game.